if you talk to most of the pros, face at level 10s, a good 8 to 10 shot burst is really all that is needed to memorize from the main guns. And the main guns being AK, Galil, M4, both M4s, FAMAS, MAC-10, MP7, MP9. That's just my opinion. You can go further. And before I go any further, tip number 1, down and to the right. 9.9 times out of 10. The only two guns that go down and to the left is going to be the SG Commando and the MP7. Okay? And if you want to practice, go in here and type in SV. I can't remember the command. It's going to be show impacts. There it is. Impacts time. And set this to 1 second. Or 2 seconds, probably better. Yeah. 2 seconds. That way it'll go way faster. This just makes the impacts disappear faster. And so we have the MP7 and the SG, the only two primarily go to the left. All the rest, so if you can't remember what gun you have or what the pattern is, it's going to be down to the right for almost all of the guns. Okay? And like, I don't even know like all of the entire pattern. I just have that because it's in front of me. I may be able to do without it. Yeah, just the AK. But like the 8 to 10 shots, memorize those. But here's the thing. Don't memorize it off of this. Memorize it off of the dummy target. And here's the kick here. I like to put on the white dots here. Put the size on 3. Or you can do it inversely. Have it this way. But the white dots make show it on their body best. Okay? Size 1 might be better. Notice the AK. So we have, if this counts for half, like, here's the halfway point. So we have 100%. So if you notice the kneecap right here, and I want you to visualize this. If you're shooting at an enemy, and just do this in deathmatch for a few rounds, just with the AK, starting at the head, and then you're coming down, sweeping down the right, aiming for that kneecap. Okay? And I know that sounds crazy, but as far as that's the furthest for, now I don't know about Negev or any other stuff, but the AK is going to count for 3/4 of a body to go down for the first 8 to 10 bullets. And then going down to the kneecap. And you'll notice, if you don't hit the headshot right off the bat, that when you get down that kneecap, it's going to be complete. And good recoil control is a mixture of the tracking downwards, the consistent tracking downwards, and not going too far or too little. And I know that's, of course, that should be said. But the thing is, most people, for instance, are taking the M4A1S and they're going the same kneecap, and they don't understand like the little tricks about it. Like, for instance, the very first 3 shots, if you look here, we'll make this size 1 smaller. That's a shot. That other white dot's a shot. So the first 3 bullets are right here. And you don't go further than once you get to the midpoint here. Now, if they're further out, it's a little bit further down, as you'll notice if you want to get more technical with it, which I did and had fun with. You can lock yourself in place and see that the pattern now has you going down to the kneecap at that distance. You know, to really hit it further out. And the further out you go, the further down you want to go with it to hit at distance. But for purpose's sake of this video, up close encounters, we gotta stop this whole chat thing. Hold on. I think this turns off that, I think. Yes, sorry about that. For purposes of this video, we're gonna take the 4 main guns, start with the AK, and for enemy targets, targeting head first, of course, And then you don't even have. You see how it sweeps down into the. It sweeps down this way into the right. If you want to just even simplify that and cut the downward motion, and instead go at this just a down angle. I don't know what angle this would be. I guess that'd be a. If this is a 90, what's that, like a, I don't know, a 70-degree angle? Just, you'll notice that you will kill more often than not. Just, you don't even have to fall like this. You know, like I have it down. It's just ingrained in me to fall. You know, that's just me. But if you don't, if you want to simplify it, just go down into the right. You can. I prefer to you know, it's just ingrained to do this motion and then down for me. Target the kneecap, stop, and then reburst. All right. The A4 is just a little bit above that. Okay, and it's right in this little right after the hip pocket right here. Boom. Done. Done. It's not there, and it's the speed at which you do it as well. It's a little bit slower. Let's go back to the A1S here. Now watch. My first three, it's just a slow pull down. You can even just have the first three without even pulling down. I pull down no matter what because it just throws me off a bit. But just, it's crazy how people think you have to, it's barely a pull down. Remember, those first three bullets are right here. If we can do bullet time, you'll see 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so these three are just right tight knit. It's not like it's not like the A4 where you have to come down to here. It's just really, it's almost just it's a feel thing. But for the AK, which I think most people struggle with, targeting that kneecap is just like, I know it sounds crazy. You just do it for a few deathmatch rounds and then you'll forget about it once you start getting the feel of it. And I'll show it in other. I'm just going to give a couple more little tips and tricks here. The FAMAS is like a scooping motion, okay? I consider like a half circle ice cream scoop kind of. Just I saw a donk do this, and I never worked on the FAMAS before. It looks like he was just drawing like circles with it, and I was like, oh, okay. And even if you want to imagine like the circle draw like that, you can. So I'm trying to think of some more tips and tricks here. Galil, down to the right, okay? Stops right there. Same pocket. If you just remember Galil and the M4A4 are the same, right in the same pocket to where you want to stop. As far as the 8 to 10 burst is concerned, you're going to have the same thing, except it's going to be same. Remember how I told with the AK, if you just want to go this angle downward, use that same downward trajectory with the Galil, just more pronounced. Okay. SMGs. Let's talk about the MP7 down to the left here, okay? This gun is basically broken now. You can be running around with this, and I'm going to show you here in some little aimbots in a second, and just running and just getting crazy shots. It's crazy. It's kind of broken, I think. As far as the MAC-10 is concerned, a lot of people are stopping at their 9th and 10th bullet. I feel like you know, intermediate players, and they're not realizing that they have 5 extra bullets that really account for in this little pocket right here that you technically don't have to pull down for anymore once you reach that precipice. So it's going to be down to the right. See those extra bullets right there? I don't even have to. I'm just holding my mouse there, and you'll see it gets off once. So I'm going to pull down, and I'll tell you when I stop. I'm stopping. See, once I stop, those people are stopping right about there, but you really have all this. MP9. I'm personally doing eight shots. It's kind of wiry. Once it starts going to the right, I stop. I just like to go quick burst with that, and that's gonna bring you bread and butter. Just, you know, it's not there. Hitting leg shots, it's all day. I haven't learned the rest of these. If I do use the SG from time to time, you know, just like I said, This is one of the few outliers, which down to the left, like the MP7. Um, so if you can't remember what the pattern is, just always be thinking of this angle downward. Just be thinking of this, even if you want to think of it as this, a not just a downward angle. Like a lot of people will tell you, just pull down. I think your best bet though is honestly, and I feel like my best games where I'm pulling like 30 bombs and stuff, and I'm just like in the flow state where I'm actively focused on like not just a downward angle. And it's hard to say that because I've just spent probably like 10 to 12 hours in here like individually working these. But I find that if I'm just doing this angle here with most of the guns and making it more pronounced with certain guns such as the Galil. Galil is a little bit more pronounced. I'm doing good. Of course, you want to strive for perfection, and really, and the AK really shines once you really learn this transition to going down. It really a lot different than just this. Following it in this sense is just I find it's just better. And once you have this down, experimenting it at range, but I think you're gonna be really surprised that if you're trying to target that right knee, and even if they're behind a wall, just know that you need to be going 3/4, you know, at even at just at this range though. Like if we're not talking like at range here, like here, we're even further, you know, to really capture all that. So up close, I just think people aren't pulling down far enough, and if they are, they're just pulling straight down, and if you aren't pulling down to the right, and I say the right kneecap, of course, because of the dummy target, just showing us is where our 10th bullet ends is pretty much right there. Then I find them more often than not doing something like this, just a straight down will start kicking your bullets to the left, but targeting that kneecap is crucial. And then when you switch the M4s, just know that the furthest you're going to go, if you're A1S guy, just know that especially up close, you do not need to be pulling to anywhere here. It's literally there. That's your bread and butter, you know. And the A4 is just a little bit further, right in that hip pocket right here. Okay, and so with that said, just show you like how it works out. And this is just a one take, so yeah, might miss some, might not. And I'm going to intentionally not target the heads because I want to show like that. I don't want to get headshots right off the bat. Yeah. All right, so up close, starting here, to the knee. Already falling apart on me, huh? Like I said, distance is going to be even more pronounced. That's why that aimbot's in there and moving the target backwards is really important to knowing your ranges. Alright, let's just go over the same thing with the M4 right here. Up close. Right there, all day. No further. Slight pull down. Letting the first 3 bullets do its thing, hit true. Of course, in real games, we're going to be aiming for heads. A4. A little bit further down in the hip pocket. Let's talk about the broken mechanics here of the SMG. And if you want to do FAMAS while we're at it, Galil, that pronounced angle down to the right. FAMAS, scooping motion like half circles. I'm specifically doing it to show you the bullets are hitting. Realistically, we want to be here, counter straight, head, and then the motion, you know, because we want the bullets to be focusing here. I'm just doing it to show that the principle works, you know. In game, you want to be same motion, except emphasizing the headshots, you know. Okay, on to the again, like now, Mac 10, down to the right. Remember, don't stop at that 9th bullet. You have those 9 through 14 where it's just, you're basically just sitting here with it. So most people, if you're trying to like burst this from like distance, really you're just doing it wrong in my opinion. You want to be running and gunning. Watch how broken this is. I'm just holding right. I'm just gonna keep holding right. I'm slicing down. Holding left. It's even crazier with the MP7. In my opinion, MP7's down to the left now. MP9. That's my next thing I'm going to tackle is the bison. That would be fun. I'm just here with MP9. I'm 8 to 10. That's it. I'm stopping. It gets too wide. I don't know the pattern. It's too wide for me, but I feel like if you're head level and you're just anyone up close and you just put that first bullet down, you're going to be... I'm sure you've all been on the receiving end of like not having... even having head armor where you're just caught up close to the MP9 and it just feels like your whole screen shakes and you're gone. That's that feeling right there. And that comes from not just doing, that comes from not doing this. That comes from just a nice burst like that. Just to pull it down. I'm not even trying to pull it down to the right. I know it does go down there, but other than that, like I said, the main thing people have trouble with the AK targeting downward. Remember, and see, they're further away. So really, if you remember in the video, at this distance, it's more like right here. So, move further. You don't have to, this is not like a one-stop be-all, a way of controlling the AK. I just say do it for a couple of rounds in deathmatch, and you'll see that your shots are hitting better, and then take a break, go back into it as you were before, have it in the back of your mind, and then once you just start seeing how it is, it'll just become second nature to you. Like, I'm not actively targeting kneecaps in games and stuff. It's just, you know, it's just second nature. But that dummy target in the recoil control map, it's just overlooked. It really is, you know. I feel like, but yeah. Anyways,